I'm Vicki Paris Goodman, author of To Sam with Love, a surviving spouse's story of inspired grief. Welcome to part three, the final installment in my three-part series that has already changed the way you think about death and loss, and will have you fully enjoying your life again and looking forward to the happy and productive future that awaits. When my husband Sam died of cancer in 2019, writing a book about his death's aftermath was the furthest thing from my mind. But at that time, I had no idea the months following the life-changing event would turn out to be the single most insightful and inspirational time of my life. I was being blessed with clarity about life and death that seemed to come from an outside source. Prior to Sam's passing, I'd never before been struck with lightning bolts of wisdom, certainly not on a frequent basis, but that is exactly what was happening. I knew I needed to write to Sam with love to help others grieving for the loss of a loved one, especially a spouse. Through the book, I could share some of the insights that had come to me, seemingly out of nowhere, revelations that made it possible for me to embrace optimism and opportunities while I grieved, instead of getting stuck in grief. I could look forward to a bright future while honoring the memory of my husband. Honestly, I was lucky in one sense. I had interests, hobbies, and an independent streak that may have aided me in creating a new life. So, what about a survivor whose daily activities had always revolved around a spouse and the marriage? Recall what episode two had to say about God's plan and how each of us is living this life on earth to learn lessons, have certain experiences that may challenge us, and to teach others. I can't tell another individual how to break free from whatever it is that is holding them back. But what I can do is even better. I can challenge our culture's relevant beliefs on life, death, and God's plan for each of us, as I did in episode two. Fortified with a better perspective on these core notions, survivors can shed the guilt, disappointment, and fear that so often keeps them from living their best lives. These perspectives bless survivors with the clarity they need so that they know where their spouse's soul resides, how that soul regards the living spouse's future, and why it is virtually certain they will someday be together again in the afterlife. I wrote to Sam with love to tell my unique story, an example of one woman's inspired path to a new life. It is uplifting, optimistic, and full of possibilities for a life of adventures, satisfaction, and meaning. These are some relevant quotations that provide wisdom and food for thought. From Brian L. Weiss, sometimes soulmates may meet, stay together until a task or life lesson is completed, and then move on. This is not a tragedy, only a matter of learning. Or this one from Sri Radhe Ma, do not desire a long life or an early death. From Rick Warren, God has a purpose behind every problem. He uses circumstances to develop our character. From Franz Kafka, everything you love will probably be lost, but in the end, love will return in another way. Embrace change. It's inevitable for growth. Together, we can shift pain into wonder and love, but it is up to us to consciously and intentionally create that connection. From Albert Einstein, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. From Paul Walker, I used to believe in one true soulmate, but not anymore. I believe you can have a few. And here are some excerpts from a few of the online reviews for To Sam with Love, which I'm beyond gratified have so far all been 5 stars. To Sam with Love made me really think about how someone can overcome death and move forward in a positive light. Alborz Azar. This book encourages me as I am going through a somewhat similar situation. This book is like sunshine through gray clouds in the sky. I am keeping this book in the drawer of my bedside table so I can read it again whenever I need to hear cheering stories. Young Suk Shatoni. Wow, this book had me captivated. I highly recommend this book. Someone whose initials are LLT. I was so impressed with Vicky's story that I would even get up in the middle of the night so I could finish it. This book will really help other people after they've lost a loved one. Help them to survive. Eileen Ellis. To Sam with Love is authentic, humorous, sacred, a must read for anyone facing the prospect of losing someone or having lost someone. You will not be disappointed. Jerry Conklin. And finally, I really needed the message from this book. Vicki hit it out of the park, proving with faith anyone can overcome loss. Matthew Pinard. Now I want to tell you a little more about To Sam with Love. The book's preface alone contains a stunning admission that should open the reader's minds to possibilities. There is no doubt my husband Sam was the love of my life, yet the preface states, and I quote, "Life after Sam's death has not been terribly sad." This unexpected, even astounding reality, combined with the myriad insights and revelations with which I was blessed, set the stage for the book's rather unusual theme. The story told and concepts introduced have the capacity to change perspectives on how we grieve, enabling us to happily move into life's next chapter. I chose to devote much of the book's first third to our lives, Sam's and mine, so the reader could get to know the two of us, the good, the bad, the silly, and the quirky. This was necessary, I felt, so that the reader could receive the fullest possible impact of Sam's death and my loss. I then wrote about the terminal cancer diagnosis we received soon after moving into our new house in the small town we'd chosen for our retirement together. Sam's treatment over the 2 years he had remaining is described in detail. Even then, the serendipitous events that characterized my life after his death had already begun to occur. For instance, the story of how I couldn't sleep one night over my failure to get Sam accepted into a clinical trial for the best immunotherapy available, only to find out that very drug had been approved for Sam's type of cancer that same day. The book's latter third chronicles my unexpected experience, characterized by optimism and uncommon clarity, as if a helping hand were guiding me to the blessings and opportunities that seemed to be there for the taking. All I had to do was be open to them. I ended To Sam with Love with an epilogue depicting a humorous episode that occurred with my in-laws, Sam's parents, some years ago. That memory, along with the story of Dr. Alexander's near-death experience, produced my insight regarding the perfecting of souls in the afterlife. The epilogue also features my conclusions regarding the lessons God wanted Sam and me to learn from our terminal cancer ordeal, and the gifts, yes, gifts we received from those lessons learned. Now that you are armed with new, far more optimistic ways to think about life, death, and God's plan for you, my book, To Sam with Love, a surviving spouse's story of inspired grief, offers a roadmap to a fulfilling life after the death of a spouse or other loved one. It is the essential blueprint that will complete your newly acquired set of skills, enabling you to look to the future guilt-free and happy. Please visit inspiredgrief.com for the best pricing currently available for my book, To Sam with Love. You've probably got just a few days left until these 3 pop-up podcast episodes go away forever. But I have a special offer for you. If you buy 2 copies of To Sam with Love, I will give you 2 things. One is my bonus content offer, Solutions for Your Bright Future, which will give you answers to problems that may arise as you embrace your new life. These include a cheat sheet of exciting activities and opportunities to pursue, solutions to dilemmas like what to do if your deceased spouse took care of the bills and pretty much everything else, and much more, as well as a personal activity log for you to track your progress. The second part of this bonus offer is lifetime access to this 3-episode pop-up podcast series. You can redeem this offer by going to inspiredgrief.com/offer to submit a copy of your proof of purchase of 2 copies of To Sam with Love. Along with this 3-episode pop-up podcast series you are currently listening to, my book, To Sam with Love, will serve as your game plan for loving your life again. So I wish you blessings and inspiration. I know they'll be yours. And remember to be open and accepting of guidance and opportunities that present themselves. They really are yours for the taking. Thank you for listening.